Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Saimah and welcome to Saimah's Experience. I've been a host on the Turo platform for 6+ years, and in this video, I am going to go over the one thing that you absolutely must know if you're thinking about renting a Tesla on the Turo platform. I've had the pleasure of hosting a Tesla Model S for many years, and I accrued hundreds and hundreds of trips on that vehicle. So for all of my host friends, in a couple of minutes, I'm gonna get to the one thing that made my Tesla Model S super successful. But to all you renters out there who are seeing the abundance of Teslas that are available to you, let's talk about some of the things that you should really pay attention to really make for a seamless renting experience when you rent a Tesla off the Turo platform. Now, Teslas are amazing vehicles. There's no secret about it. They get rave reviews, and it doesn't matter if you're going for the Model 3, the Model Y, the Model S, which is my personal favorite, or the Model X. You will find an abundance of all of them on the Turo platform in your area. Now, something really interesting about the Teslas is that they have the ability for supercharging. So basically, you can travel anywhere throughout the US, and there is a very quick charging station to get you enough juice to get to your next destination. Now, one interesting thing is that there are certain models that come with free supercharging, and there are others that don't. So the one thing that I would really advise for you if you're thinking about renting a Tesla is to make sure that you thoroughly read through the descriptions and figure out which cars and hosts are providing free supercharging for your vehicle. Because if you're taking a long road trip, that can definitely add up. And even if you're staying local, it is nice to have the option of free supercharging. One thing that I've noticed is that typically Teslas that are 2016 or older tend to already come with free supercharging built in. However, if you're looking to rent a newer model, let's say maybe a 2020, a 2021, there are many hosts out there who are including free supercharging as a part of the rental experience, which is really phenomenal that there are so many amazing hosts out there that are willing to do that. Now, I love Teslas because you can typically get a Tesla that has a range of anywhere between 240 miles per charge up to 300. So that really gives you quite a bit of distance to get to where you're trying to go. However, one of the things about renting a Tesla off the Turo platform is that not everyone hosts their Teslas in the exact same way. So some of the things that you really want to dig into when you're looking at a Tesla listing on Turo is you want to find out, first of all, does it come with free supercharging, or is that something that you're going to be billed for at the end of the trip? Second, what are the requirements from the host? Are they going to require that you bring the vehicle back fully charged? Because of course that is going to require a little bit of extra time on your part. Are you going to get the Tesla fully charged at the start of your trip? So these are all things that you really want to clarify, because if you have very specific plans and you're trying to maybe take a road trip and get to a certain destination by a certain time, then you definitely need to account for charging time, which can really add up during a trip if you're going far, and especially if you're receiving a car without a full charge. So these are all things that you just kind of want to take a moment, read through the descriptions. Most hosts do have all of this outlined in their description, and even after that, once you actually book your Tesla on Turo, just make sure that you send the host a quick message and get a confirmation on exactly what the expectations are and how you will be receiving the car and how you're going to be expected to return the vehicle, so that you can account for all of that. Now, for a convenience factor, there are many hosts out there that do provide a prepaid supercharging or prepaid charging, that is, and that's really nice because typically I've seen prices around $30 to $40. If you pay in advance, you don't have to worry about charging the car and bringing it back at a certain charge, which is going to save you time. And in comparison to gas prices, typically paying for EV charging tends to be a little bit less than gas, which is nice. So you do see that overall savings all around by renting a Tesla. So these are some pointers that I wanted to put out there because I think it's really important to know. That way you can properly be planned for your trip and you know exactly what to look for when you are trying to pick the perfect Tesla for your trip. And you'll notice that there are so many Teslas for you to choose from. So these are really important things to look for. And also you want to find out that the model that you're renting, what the range on that vehicle is, because remember, all of these Teslas, they could all be different years and they can all be different models. So you want to make sure you know exactly what you're getting so you can prepare for your trip. Now, I used to host a Tesla Model S. It was a 2013 on the Turo platform, and unfortunately it was totaled a couple of years ago. It was absolutely destroyed, as you guys can see, and you can click on the card above to find out exactly what happened. And just like my Tesla was destroyed, I would ask that you destroy that like button if you are finding this video of value so far. So for all of my host friends that are out there, let me share my number one tip for hosting a Tesla on the Turo platform, especially during this specific time that we're in right now. And if you're a renter looking to get started on Turo and want to find out more about it, then definitely check out my community and my Turo course that will walk you through everything at powerhost.club. Okay, host friends, so we are in sort of a Turo peak season and it's crazy out there. You're getting all kinds of people renting your cars, people involved in all kinds of activities, and mainly a lot of people taking road trips. And we know that Teslas are phenomenal cars for road trips, so your Tesla is probably getting booked up left and right. By the way, Tesla is probably the number one ranked car in almost any market across the US. Click on this card above to see my market research video on Teslas. Now, one of the things about peak seasons is that we become very prone to experiencing a high frequency of accidents, which is never fun. And I've had many host friends, including myself, that have experienced getting their Teslas totaled or really involved in very bad accidents, because we know Teslas were designed to accelerate very quickly. They're super fun to drive, and that is something that is very it's marketed about these vehicles, so it's well known that they can accelerate very fast. Many of you guys have the ludicrous packages on your cars, and that can get dangerous should it fall into the wrong hands. So my number one tip that I would advise, and you sort of have to take caution when implementing it, is using that speed limiter feature on the Teslas, which is typically under the safety and security settings. Now, there could be some legalities behind this, so this is something that you would have to research for yourself in your state, in your area, so that you can safely implement something like this. But having a speed limitation on your vehicles can really prevent people from, excessively speeding in your Teslas and getting into accidents. Unfortunately, that's exactly how my Model S was totaled. I had my renter who was very young and he was speeding on the highway and he got into a horrific accident. Even he was shocked that he walked away from any injuries. And I truly believe that's because Teslas are such incredibly safe cars that it quite literally saved his life because he was in that vehicle. But he was really speeding at dangerous speeds, and this is something that many of my community members on powerhost.club are experiencing as well. Just the other day, one of my members was sharing a screenshot where they tracked the renter's speeds, and we were seeing speeds of 135 miles per hour and above. So it's very scary when people are getting behind the wheel of such a powerful car like a Tesla and driving them so recklessly. It can be very dangerous for them. And then of course, it can definitely damage your vehicles. So speed limiters are great. I got that idea because when I used to get service loaners from the Tesla service center, I noticed that they would have their vehicles set to certain speed limits. So of course, I think one of the things that you want to do is probably account for the fact that maybe people need to get out of harmful situations and they'll likely need to accelerate. So you want to really evaluate for yourself if that is a safe feature to enable on your vehicles, and just make sure it doesn't have any adverse reactions from your guest. If you are going to do something like that, you want to make sure it's legal to do so in your state, and you also want to make sure that you do disclose it to your guest in your listing so that they are aware of that type of limitation. And for the most part, I don't think that people mind it, because of course you are just primarily concerned for their safety. Now, if you're not comfortable with doing that, I would say the second thing that is a great option is tracking the speeds of your guest. And should you get repeat offenses of people accelerating to dangerously high speeds, like one of my community members was experiencing, then you can definitely reach out to your guest and, just kindly let them know that, hey, you are driving recklessly and it's definitely very dangerous. I'm just concerned for your safety. So you just want to make sure that you do respect this vehicle. That is a great secondary option to go with. So with Teslas, unfortunately, this is just one of those things that comes with it, because these cars are so powerful and because there's so many of you guys that are still listing Teslas on the platform. I really want to make sure that you guys take a moment to think about this. We are in a peak season for accidents, and it's never fun to go through having to deal with damages to your vehicles, let alone having them get totaled. So you really want to avoid that at all costs. Keep your cars safe and keep your guests safe. And these are a couple of ways of doing so. So those are my little tips and tricks. If you're hosting a Tesla on Turo, I think that you guys, for those of you that are doing it, you will find it incredibly lucrative and fruitful. I wish you guys all the best. Once again, check out my Turo Host course and community available to you now at powerhost.club. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.